And now, your First Alert 5 weather.
And welcome back, everyone, to News 5 at 6 on your Thursday evening. Thanks so much for joining us. A wet evening out there across parts of the Pikes Peak region. Some heavy soaking rains, the rain band or the shield of precip generally moving from south to north at a pretty slow rate, about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So we are beginning to see some drier air working down south towards Fountain, right along the Colorado Springs airport area. But on the north side of town, you're getting hammered with some moderate to heavy rain and those thunderstorms right now, generally out across eastern parts of El Paso County. They did pulse up and they looked pretty good at one point. I thought we might see National Weather Service issue one of those lower end severe thunderstorm warnings due to larger hail, gusty winds, but they didn't do it, and the storm's now beginning to collapse some. So that means it looks like that hail threat that we saw earlier right around Ellicott, just north of Highway 94, slowly beginning to diminish, as is the rain down south in the Canyon City area, where it was a pretty good soaking earlier today. Now we're seeing drier skies moving into your forecast. Here's what we saw today in Colorado Springs, 74 degrees. The high so far today, about 2/10 of an inch of precip at the Colorado Springs Airport. Pueblo, the rain gauge there dry so far. If that changes, we'll let you know with an update coming up on News 5 at 10. And still a pretty wet and soggy evening here in the downtown area. But if you're waiting for the rain to stop to maybe grab a bite out to eat or pick up some to go for dinner tonight, just don't feel like cooking, I think between about 7 to 8 o'clock, drier air begins to work in, and most of us should see those drier conditions develop in that time. Pueblo right now already seeing those drier skies, and I think you're probably good throughout the rest of the evening. It's 71 degrees outside your front door. Here's a live look in Canyon City, where we have a little bit of blue trying to mix in with those storm clouds that are now moving off to your north. Outside temp, because of that rain cooled air, all the way down to 57, and it's chilly but at least dry for the time being in Woodland Park after getting a lot of rain earlier today. Right now checking in at about 48 degrees. Area of low pressure in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere will slowly move off to the east northeast over the next 24 hours. Initially on Friday, it does bring in a little bit of drier air, but still some recycled moisture left over. So storms may be a little less widespread than what we saw today, and the heaviest threat is going to be down to our south. That's an enhanced risk, a 3 out of 5 of severe weather, large hail, gusty winds, even some tornadoes out across parts of West Texas. And for us locally, eastern Colorado, under that marginal risk, hail could be up to 1 inch in diameter for some of those storms that do pulse to severe criteria. We could see gusts as well up near 60 miles per hour. Something we'll be watching closely. We'll keep you posted throughout the day here on News 5, and you can also monitor that and track it from your News 5 weather app. You can see on Futurecast tomorrow, most of the stronger rain is going to be in the mountains and the eastern plains. You can see the model does show some of those storms pulsing up. Again, here's where we'll see the best potential, that maybe 1 or 2 of those do turn severe throughout the late afternoon to early evening hours. Then by around 8 o'clock, much like what we'll see tonight, most of that rain does dissipate. Now, rain chances do increase as that low just hangs around the region throughout the weekend, eventually pulling up more moisture from the Gulf of California and Gulf of Mexico. And the forecast Saturday to Sunday looks wet, cool, and unsettled here across southern Colorado. Tonight's lows right around 37 in Woodland Park, 44 in Monument, 49 in Pueblo. Daytime highs tomorrow a little cooler than what we saw this afternoon, so maybe jacket weather in Woodland Park and Monument will only warm to the 60s, whereas the Springs we look to top out around 72, and that's below average by about 5 degrees. We stay there through the weekend and early next week. And take a look at the breakout here on Saturday. If you want to plan any time outside, it's probably best if it's before the lunch hour. Anytime after that, fair game that we get the rain and the thunderstorms that'll come in waves throughout the day and could continue well into Saturday night. For Pueblo, I've got a high near 80 tomorrow, then rain and thunderstorms more widespread this weekend into Monday, becoming a little more I'd say of that garden variety thunderstorm chance beginning on Tuesday. For Canyon City, I've got upper 70s on Friday, low to mid 70s on Saturday to Sunday, eventually building back to near 80 by the middle of next week. And in Woodland Park, hang on to your hats, my friends. We've got showers and storms, lots of rain expected, more scattered in nature Friday, but more widespread by the weekend.